We're going to talk about the toll of writing, socially, emotionally, and physically. We want to share with you that we're all in this together, that it's not easy, and sometimes the tolls are not obvious at the time. So, when we talk about socially, we're talking about, has things changed in your life socially since you become an author or since you started writing?
Yes.
Okay, emotionally, have you become stressed or at peace? Or, many things. And physically, what the toll has caused all of us physically. So the first section, socially, I would like my co-presenter to present more information on the social aspects of the toll that writing has taken on us.
And Ms. Taj did a good introduction. So you understand when we talk about the social toll. But there's a quote I want to share with you by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Every writer is a skater who must go partly where he would and partly where the skate carries him. I mean, that's a powerful quote about writing. And that was something in our research that we found, and we thought, oh, this would be really good to share. And we're not going to be long because of our time constraint, etc. And the toll in itself is understood, the toll of writing. But from the social aspect, I have a picture here with this young lady sitting on top of the world with her book. Sitting on top of the world. And so she is so caught up in that world of writing. So sometimes for weeks, she doesn't connect with friends. She doesn't connect with her 10 members because she really wants to get this book out and get it published so she can be among those of us who have published. And she creates a loss of support because she's in this world of writing and she has to get it done, which is something awesome to do because we love to write. Writing is powerful. Writing takes us into another world where no one else can come but ourselves with our pen and our paper. But then we can't go out to party because we are so caught up in that social, we are so lost in that realm of just being who we are with writing. And we miss out on somebody's party who invited us, somebody who had an event that we should have been there, and we have it noted in our calendar, but we are there writing because we have a deadline that we set. And so the social toll is where we just get disconnected from being involved outside of our writing. And that's one of the sections that we wanted to share with you about the social toll, that we shouldn't let that social toll really take us away from enjoying life, but also enjoying our writing.
Well, one wrote was, in order to write, you must read.
Yes.
And I'm finding that more and more. And I try to read out of my regular genre. I'm not into the little scary voodoos and scary dragons and drama and different stuff. But I try to read. I know a friend who really is into the heavy, and I got through 1.5 of his book. I couldn't take it anymore. I said, at least I tried. So I do try and experience different things. I find myself doing that, so that's a social change. Another thing is I never dreamt today that I would be sitting in a room like this, filled with authors. And I'm associating myself more with authors and supporting them, and they're supporting me. And I love it,
Not cutting you off, sorry. And one of the social changes for me, which could be a toll, is that when you go out and you talk to people about writing and have written, that they sometimes seem like they get lost to understand that you're writing and that you've published. And why would they have not registered correctly what you're saying about having written, as though you should not be the one to have written something? Mm-hmm. And it is a social tool, because then what it does, if you're not strong enough, how can I present my book? How can I present my flyer? Because there are some people who just don't get it, that we are and that we can be writers and authors. Mm-hmm. And it is a social tool. Because I was at a reunion in Montreal a couple of weeks ago, and there were some people just totally shocked that I'm writing, or I have written, or I have books that they can go onto Amazon. And I don't know if it's based on the exposure about authors among us, you know, why there would be a question about you have written. Mm-hmm. And so those are some of the social tolls that I have experienced about writing.
And the social tolls also lead into the emotional tolls. And I tell you, I did go into temporary insanity. I was caught up in this world of mine, home. And I was in this world, nothing distracted me, because I was tunnel like this. Wake up in the middle of the night with more thoughts, you know. So this went on and on and on, you know, and hours. Sometimes I wasn't getting but 2 or 3 hours of sleep, because I gotta get this. Oh, that's a good thought. You know, so I write that. So emotionally, you could be stressful and stressing yourself out, and you're not realizing it. You know, so, and sometimes when people don't understand what you're doing, you kind of get teed off with them. You know, a little teed off. You know, with frustrated look. You know, this is my stuff I'm doing. You know.
Yeah, writing does take that emotional toll. I ran into this cartoon, and this person is at the computer. I keep hitting escape, and I'm still here. That's what the emotional toll can do to us as writers, authors, you know. And for me, my husband is a university professor, and he's published his academic books. And when he started telling me, you need to sit down and write, because your poems, and get them published, I was like, no, I can't do that, because would he think I'm trying to compete with him? And you become emotional about your very right. You have it, it's within you. You just have to sit down and get it done and get over the emotions. Yeah. One of the things, a few things here I have about the emotional toll: becoming depressed because it's taking too long to organize our thoughts in a coherent manner. I mean, I'm thinking about it, it's in my head, but I just can't get it on paper. That becomes very emotional as writers. Becoming depressed because the behavior of a character in our head just won't come. I want you to be that man, and I can't get that man out in terms of how I want to explain who he is, as in our author over there, Miss Skerritt. Say it in plain English. Awesome book. And I'm sure she had some moments when she was like, man, I need to describe this man, and I need him to say it in plain English, but it just won't come out. And those are some of the emotional toll. We become frustrated after days, months, years of writing. It becomes emotional, and so we have all this pile of work that we've written, and we can't get to the end. Yeah. We can't get to the next chapter, and I'm stuck right now too, like that, because I'm writing my first novel, The Journey, and I'm so stuck right here, and I don't know where to go, but I'm hoping I would get out of that stuck gear. And so there is an emotional toll in writing, and we have to face it, We have to acknowledge it so we can get over it and keep writing that second, that third, and come close to this Barbara with her 20 odd books.
Amen for that. Okay, great. Now, of course, emotional. Can you imagine American society as a whole? What are we doing when we are driving and eating? Sitting. What are we doing when we're at work? Working, most of us. Sitting. What are we doing when we're watching television? Sitting. And what are we doing when we're writing?
Sitting.
So you get the picture, right? Eating, drinking, but we're all still sitting, right? So we're going to talk about our sedentary behavior.
Yeah.
Stand stationed in one position for long periods of time. How does it affect us? How does it affect every means of our body? And weren't we aware of it at the time? So let's talk about the risk factors. Now, sedentary means sitting a long time. At a long time. And we're good at it, right? We are pros at it, especially when we got this vision. We don't care about the time, who's around us. We don't care about anything. We're going to sit there and do whatever we do, right? So, let's talk about the risk or what could be happening to us without really thinking about the seriousness of it. First of all, did you know that it could kill you?
Yeah.
It could kill you, right? Because if we have any cancer cells, we could create it by sitting there, just sitting. What if people die in a, I hate to say that, don't you think once older people go to a home where there's not really the family involved and they sit, don't you think it kind of speed up their
Demise, yeah.
their demise, right? Because nothing's moving. The organs shut down, they get pneumonia. That's what happened to my father. Died from pneumonia. Very beautiful man. However, we can also get diabetes. We can get cardiovascular diseases, our hearts, liver diseases for sitting so long, back and spinal condition. You would think I would have learned something from that, having been a professor and have done so much research throughout the years that caused me spinal surgery. You know, I actually had spinal surgery, the 5th and 6th, they call it C5 or C6, whatever it is back there, which caused me, you know, a whole year of inactivities, you know, because I was paranoid. I was afraid to do anything because I was afraid that I would cause some damage because I was, you know, still working and teaching Zumba classes and, you know, doing my thing, you know. But when that caught me, and that was because I had been sitting a long time publishing research articles and preparing my PowerPoint presentations for the classes and, you know, meetings and that needed agendas and different things, always back to the computer. So I learned that I asked Dr. Well, what's going on with that? You know, I'm active. He said, but you have to sit at the computer a certain way. Apparently, you're not sitting there a long time. It causes strain and still have nerves in one arm. However, I learned from that. I got motivated until I started writing a novel. You thought I would have known everything it is, but I didn't. So I started writing June 2014 on my novels. By June 15, these muscles were gone.
Yeah.
You know, I saw them and I panicked. So I got on this instrument I have called a Dynagem, and I was working it. And what did I do? Injured my shoulder. So 6 months, I'm in therapy, right? So the rest of the body falls apart, you know, because I'm still writing though. I'm constantly writing. I'm into my story. You know, I'll fix that, but thank God there are remedies. There are remedies. Now, you mentioned that clumsiness is another part
Yes.
of physical problems.
And that was very interesting research to find that clumsiness is one of those tools in writing. It says, you might think it is a big stretch, but the more deeply engaged we are in writing, the clumsier we become. That's right, I was like, what are they talking about here?
Yeah.
This can also result from the lack of sleep.
Yes.
If we are writing long nights, long hours,
Yeah.
and in the morning, you know, you wake up and you're stumbling and you're knocking over things, and you're becoming, I was like, and you're dropping things, and I'm like, what are they talking about? But I can see it, because you stayed up late that night before, you're writing, it's really flowing at this time, and you don't want to stop, and the hours are going, and you got to go to work in the morning, but you got to get this writing done, and then you wake up and you're fatigued, and you become clumsy. And so it is considered one of the physical toll of writing. And these are things we're not aware of, but they are so real when you stop and do research about these topics that we came up with about the toll of writing. It is also said that as writers, our body is our tool as much as our mind. So you're using that mind to write, you know, to get that story out, that poem when it comes, you know, that inspiration. You want to write it and you want to keep writing, but then, as my partner here says, you sit and you sit and you get your wrist and your back and your knees, because you keep them in that one position sometimes because you're so involved, and your hip bones. And so it is truly a fact that there is a physical toll in writing, and we are happy to share that with you this afternoon.
Well, let's talk about remedies. How do we fix this? You know you love your writing, but we have to take care of our bodies. We're not any good dead, right? We're not any good laying up in the bed and can't produce the thoughts from our heads because we, you know, physically unable to. So we need to think about and take care of ourselves, love ourselves, take ourselves seriously, and think, okay, that polishing can wait. I set deadlines I shouldn't have because I messed up and it cost me a lot of money.
Yeah.
Don't set the deadlines that are not real. Okay, mine were not real, but I did it, but I made some big mistakes. So set some reality and deal with reality as far as your body, because you are not a superman or superwoman, and you're not, you know, we all have one soul and one body, and we need to take care of it. So let's talk about remedies. We have to educate ourselves. We hope we share some of the things that we researched and from our experience. And I hope you pass it on to others and that you use some of the common sense ideas. Now, we need to restructure our environments. Maybe you're sitting in a chair that doesn't have the right back support. Okay? Maybe you're sitting in a chair that causes you back problems, and sometimes your back will start forming in a different manner. You ever seen people who turns this way or the spine? You have to take care of that spine. So rearrange your environment to give you support. I don't record sitting time, but some writer wrote that maybe if you had the TV going and you're watching TV, get up and move up at every commercial. Now, I'm quite sure the commercial people doesn't like that. But who cares? Who cares? you get up and start moving your bodies. If you're relaxing for a moment from writing and you're watching TV, doing that commercial, get busy. Move your bodies. Now, stand up. Swing your chest ahead.
What we're doing, we're trying to get the rate of that physical tone.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, there you go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1. Simple. Straight. Right. Left. Down, up, right. Left. Down, up, right. Left. Down, up, That's it. You remember Michelle Obama was on TV everywhere talking about moving, need to move. And a lot of us don't like to move our upper body. Even when we dancing, our arms are hardly working. Our hands are, the legs are working. Nobody want to raise their arms, right? So Michelle Obama put together with a group, Uptown Funk, a routine that forces you to use your I'm going to those who want to stand up and show, y'all lazy folks.
She challenged us now. Come on, she challenged us. That's it.
Listen. Is the rook. Now point. 1, 2. This is the pain. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Living it up in the city.
Point. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2. Dance with me. Single, single, double. Single, single, double. Short, long. Short, long. Cabbage patch. I implore you to really get serious and take care of you. I love all of you because I'm telling you, you guys have so much to contribute to not only me, but to the world.
That's right.
So
Legacy.
take your health as serious as you take your writing, if not more, as you do your writing. So publishing is not everything. It's an accomplishment, but it's not worth your life. So take care of you. You have anything else to say?
In closing, one of the things I found out is about the other side of the toll of writing. Because we heard today about the physical toll, the emotional toll, the social toll. But the other side of the toll of writing, because think about someone climbing up a mountain, and that view from the mountain is so awesome to capture. But the pain to get up that mountain, the toll to get up that mountain, and when you get up there, you're like, man. But then you look and you see the plain below, and it's so like, it was worth it. It's the same thing with writing. With a powerful and evocative story, we can captivate readers' mind and make them feel like they experience what we are telling them firsthand, influencing the emotion that we want them to feel. I love my friend here, her book, Tell It in Plain English. So when we tell that story, when we talk about chasing, you know what chasing, the rest of it goes. When we tell those stories, and we've gone through that, all those tolls of writing, and the end result, somebody comes and says, man, that book was good. Or somebody comes and says, that poem you presented was awesome. Let's keep writing, authors. Thank you very much.
Thank you.